fresh out the oven.
Hello. What is cracking, everybody? It's Megapiemanphd here, and welcome to another look at my map video. This time for Payload Down Under, Alpha 4. So we've got a few alphas in by this point, since the last time I talked about this map, and this map has got some main issues that needed to be dealt with. Number one, it's too dang long. It was just too dang long. Now, there are a couple maps I'm using as inspiration that I'm looking at for designing this. Number one is Payload Gold Rush, first payload map, mining theme map. This is a mining theme map. It's an Australian mine, but it is a mine nonetheless, so I'm using that sort of to get an idea of what I want to do with this particular map. But I'm also using Enclosure as inspiration. Now, Enclosure, I enjoy it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people do, but a lot of people don't because they find it to be way too dang big. Personally, I kind of like it for that fact. It's a little bit different, and it helps with the problems that multi-stage payload maps have, where the points are just so dang close to the spawn areas that you basically have to fight out of your spawn in order to get the first objective. This happens a lot on older ones like Hoodoo, Gold Rush, whatever else there is. This happens on a lot of single-stage payload maps as well. I've talked about this previously when I was talking about Payload Midwest, the single-stage payload map that I made. I really don't like having to fight and push out of blue spawn in order to capture a point. And the reason why I don't like that is because it leads to a lot of rounds where blue team just gets spawn camped, and it's not fun for anybody. It's not fun for red because they're not going anywhere. It's not fun for blue because they can't get another freaking spawn building. And it's a really big problem with shorter multi-stage maps because, I mean, a map like Gold Rush, the A point for all three stages of Gold Rush is basically right outside the spawn, and when it's not right outside the spawn, it's right outside of a choke area near the spawn, so blue doesn't get the chance to go anywhere or do anything. Enclosure, I feel, is able to improve that idea by being a bit of a larger map, so it pushes its A points. First stage doesn't really do that too much. The other stages, it pushes its A points back far enough that you can blue actually gets to do something instead of walking out of spawn and instantly exploding or getting sniped. Because nobody likes getting sniped immediately. It's not fun. So I worked on making the map shorter. I worked on trying to make less dead space, making the map more concise and, well, just less dead space in general. And trying to get the routing working to get rid of areas that people weren't using, make areas people weren't using either not part of the map anymore or more interesting. Trying to make the map less choky while also not making it too open. Because, I mean, the map, I want it to be decently open, at least for stage one. Because the idea that the team I've been working with this, with KrazyZark, Extra Ram, and a couple other people, the idea is that this is supposed to be set in Australia, which is a very flat country if you haven't ever looked at pictures of Australia. But also stage one is supposed to be more natural leading into a mine area, where stage two is full mine, and then stage three is like underground mine. That's the idea that we want to go with. If we're to progress that way, go from less buildings to like all buildings and then underground. And trying to find a good balance between that, I've been having issues with. I've changed some of the previous building areas to be natural caves. I've moved around a lot of the routing. Like previously, there used to be a way you could get over here. There was a building here, you could go around behind it, and then you could go through this, and then I closed that whole area off. I really like this land bridge, so I'm trying to make the land bridge work without being too advantageous for one or the other team. Previous version, the original versions, like A1 and A2, A kind of just rolled. It just rolled right on through. Nobody gave a crap about A. Nobody even tried to defend A. The last version before A4, which would of course been A3, I kind of balanced A in the favor of red team a little bit too much, so that there was a huge big thing at this corner where it was way too much of a choke. So I tried to open that up to be a lot less of a choke point. It does mean it's a little bit more open to sniper sightlines, but hopefully it's more going to be blue oriented, as blue has a lot of the high ground up here. So the sightlines can help blue push their way into A instead of being more against blue team with red. Plus blue, of course, they can go this way, which is the cart path, but they can also go this way to the land bridge, which helps cut some of that distance when you're dealing with snipers. We'll have to see how things go when things get played, but I think, unless that turns out to be a little annoying, cheeky little sniper spot, which it's probably going to turn out to be, I think it'll be okay. Yeah, I added these lights here that were on Gold Rush, so when blue team captures this point, it goes from red to blue, just a nice little added touch. We did add the custom payload cart. Previously, I was using a van. Now we have the custom payload cart made by KrazyZark. It is a combi van that has been turned into a bomb on a mining cart. So it's sort of it's sort of like a frontier payload cart in the fact that it's big and it can be ridden on top of. If you can get on top of it, you can get on top of it from in here. Get like crouch jump up there. But of course, you can get on top of it from the bridge. You can get on top of it from these areas over here. Jumping on top of it from over here. And, of course, going past A and some other high areas when you're going into B. But I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a neat idea. This was one of the big things that Extra Ram had as their main idea for this map of, when they originally showed the concept art that I saw, that got me interested and wanted to work on this project, was this payload cart. So hopefully I can make a map that makes people want to play so they get to see it. Yeah. I've moved around this shortcut mainly because previously the shortcut would took you like down here and then out this way, but the problem was that it was so out of the way, nobody really used it as a shortcut. So I've tried to make it more in the main routing space. So when blue spawns here, they spawn a little bit closer than they used to previously. When they spawn here, they can go to the left, pop out this way, and then after A is captured, head down this way or go across that way. Of course, they can, instead of doing that, they can just go straight, go left and around, go right and around, or just go right around this side. I imagine that after A is captured, this side of the spawn's probably not going to be used that much, but red does have this sort of high ground area that they can use for a bit of a forward hold. And they can also do a bit of a forward hold up here. I've added more ramps around this area for getting on top of this land bridge. Because previously, with it, how cut off it was, it made it difficult for teams to try to use. Because I don't want the land bridge to be like a red team thing. It's supposed to be like a blue team thing, but also it's supposed to be like balance. It's supposed to be a balanced route where both teams can use it instead of favoring one or the other. So adding more ramps means adding more accessibility. Blue team has more accessibility from the top and from this side pushing into A, whereas red team, of course, has more accessibility trying to defend A. But if they want to use the land bridge, they got to go up this ramp and around a little ways to take them longer to get there. This route, of course, cracks open once A is captured, so that blue team can come in here and use all of this. This opens up as well, so does that door down there. Somebody left some feedback saying that shouldn't all these be just the locked door texture doors, and no, because Gold Rush, Badwater, Thunder Mountain maybe, a lot of payload maps use these they're normally setup gates or one-way doors in maps, but they're also used as just block doors in a lot of payload maps. So me using them here for block doors and payload, I think is fine. It shouldn't be terribly much of a problem. This whole area got redone. I basically redid a lot of past A in going into B. I moved B over here previously. B was over into this side. You had to go all the way around. I'm put B over here to make the map a little bit shorter. Rearranged all of this so red now spawns in this building. And then to go to A, they can use this tunnel shortcut. And once A is captured, this will close, and then they will go, these will drop, and then they can go out here to defend B. I did used to have a big block you could put sentries on up here. That was a little bit too much, so it's just a normal block now. With should be good enough to supply some nice sentry placement, but not be overly done. Did change around the shipping containers a little bit. I played around with different ideas of how I wanted to do these. This is what I came up with, that blocks sidelines. Unfortunately, a lot of the map, something I'm trying to start to get away from, are using fences, and not by using fences as in using fence props necessarily, but using fence brushes that would eventually be textured to be like wood support fences. I know a lot of mining theme maps use this stuff. You see it a lot in like Yukon, Gold Rush. I don't think Badlands does it really. Is Badlands considered mining theme though? It's desert theme, but I don't think it's mining theme. Dust Bowl does that a lot. Dust Bowl uses a lot of wood support walls. I use it liberally, I feel, in Stage 1. Stage 2, I'm trying to get even farther away from using it. But it's about the easiest way to block sidelines when I'm trying to have more natural spaces, because the wall not only works as a fence, but also works as a retaining wall idea of holding up the higher elevations. So it works in two different ways. Hopefully it makes sense, and hopefully it's not overdone too much in Stage 1. Stage 2, I'm really going to try to get away from using them, so it turns into only really being mostly a Stage 1 type thing. Red team can get up here. Snipers can't get up there unless somebody puts a cheeky little teleporter up here, but you can get up here if you rocket jump, if you want to. This might be a problem in the future. I don't know. I've also rearranged this building a couple of times to try to make it more and more useful. I don't really see anybody using it. Previously, when A rolled, nobody used it because nobody needed to go over there because A just rolled on through. But now that A is being held by red team, it needs to be much more of a useful flank for blue team, at least spies, to be able to get in around and harass engineers or other defenders up here. So I kind of added this route over here. It's a little bit like one of the routes from Gold Rush Stage 2 around the A point, past the A point between A and B. So they can go this way, grab a health kit, grab some ammo. This could be a nice little place for an engineer to put a teleporter or whatnot and jump over this way to work on attacking that way. And then you also have some health and ammo over here. Might be a little bit too much health and ammo. Again, we'll have to see. Trying to balance attackers. Attackers can use this health and ammo when they're going around this corner. So they have a little bit of health and ammo to retreat to. The health and ammo over here helps to try to direct players into this building, as well as giving them some place to retreat to. So instead of just throwing yourself around the corner, you can work on trying to get your way up into this building where you have a little bit of cover, you've got some health, and you can work on pushing through the red line. This is more of a red thing, so that people who are over in this area have, blue does have the payload cart to heal off, whereas red doesn't. So red does need a little something to help them out. So red they can retreat, grab this health and ammo, and head back over there. Does red have any more health and ammo around here? You got a full med kit over here. I moved that med kit, ammo pack. I used to have it in here, but I noticed a lot of engineers were just kind of walking past it to another ammo pack. Instead of grabbing this full one to upgrade their stuff, they were just walking like all the way back over here and grabbing that one. So that wasn't really great. But I opened up a lot of these spaces. You can now get on top of this, which may or may not have been in the last version I talked about. I think it might have been this tunnel for all this cover. And you can get up top here to get some height in going into B. Whether or not B will be a sniper problem is something we'll have to wait and see with more testing. Hopefully it won't be, with the addition of this upper path and with being able to go through the top of this building, down across this way and around over here into these tunnels and through this container. Something else that changes once A is captured is that this ramp will actually lower to go flat, so this building cannot be used by red to flank. I was seeing red doing a lot of flanking through here, which is not what I want. What I want is this building to start as a red building and then become a blue building when A's captured and this doorway opens, so that blue can build up teleporters and whatnot in here and work on attacking B. So hopefully all of this convoluted moving things around will do what I want them to do. Anyway, there you go. That is A4 of Down Under, Stage 1. A big problem I've been having with this map also is a lot of seams have been showing up where you can see between the void, between brushes. Now, I haven't really used displacements at all yet in this map, mainly because trying to get displacements to sew together can be a real pain in the butt, especially when you have complicated geometry angles like what I'm trying to do here to make the place feel more natural. Because nature doesn't really make straight lines. So trying to make it be more natural means a lot more complicated geometry. So everything right now is they're just brushes, and sometimes they don't like to go next to each other correctly. So there have been some seams that popping up here and now. I've fixed most of the ones I've been able to find for A4. Previous versions have had the problem. It also causes some weird issues when it comes to like this with the lighting. That won't be a problem when I get to like beta and make displacements out of all of this crap, if or when that ever happens. But there you go. Let me know what you think of the map. You can check it out over on the TF2 Maps website, or just let me know based off of what you see here in this video. I have been Megapiemanphd, and I will talk to you guys later.